thing too.
Cool.
I'll just jump in with mine if you don't mind, Tom.
Yeah, go for it.
So my
do
topic
mind.
has to do with
Always go last.
my topic has to do with addiction.
All right.
I am 8 days into quitting smoking.
Good for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm cold turkey. I've only ever had success quitting cold turkey. I mean, success as much as I've always relapsed at some point.
Mhm.
But my question to you guys is,
Are you a jerk?
What's that?
Are you more of a jerk now that you quit?
Yeah, definitely. And I was sort of touching on it before I even posed the question. I was sort of talking to Pat about this earlier, where when you quit something, a lot of times for me, cigarettes were a stress reliever, and I was also self-medicating a lot of my like problems associated with ADHD. Like I need to get out of a situation to clear my head and sort of hit reset and then come back into a situation. I do it a lot at parties. If I get in a conversation, even if I love the person's company, I get overwhelmed and I need to step out and sort of socially. Even if I just move to another conversation, I need to sort of hit the reset and let my brain come back into where it should be. Like for me, at least, what I see as my level ground. And when I'm quitting smoking, I don't, and I haven't in the past. And what I'm trying to find out how to do now is how to find a way to relieve that stress in another way other than smoking that I can, like, is it meditation for 5 minutes instead of smoking? Is it go for a jog? Just step outside and come back in to hit reset. Like, what is my new normal? Because I don't do it. And then I end up, after about a month, I'm like, people like me less when I quit smoking. I was like, no, people don't like me less when I quit smoking. They like the way I'm acting less when I quit smoking because I'm not actually dealing with the problems I was ignoring and sort of shoving under the rug when I was smoking, which is my temper, my anger. Like,
I can get it.
it was sort of, that was my way of dealing with it. So my question to you guys is, have you ever had to quit doing anything, like drinking soda, eating chips, quit a job that was making you sick? And like, how did you go about making that change in your life? Or if not, is there a change that you see yourself needing to make in your life now that you think you could do to improve your life?
I like the power of habit. It talks about how you're sort of the sum of your habits. You are what you do on the day to day. So if there's a part of your something that you're dissatisfied with about your routine, I think the way around that is, first of all, to recognize it, and then second of all, just take immediate action to do something. So if you're smoking, I don't want to smoke anymore. Just you force yourself to go for a run, I think, or if you don't like running, force yourself to do this other activity to fill up that space and immediately think about something else.
And it's
force
important
yourself
that activity isn't, although you're forcing yourself to do that activity still needs to be something that at least falls in the box of things I want to do.
Yeah,
I want
I was
For me,
gonna
it's
say,
been reading.
It comes back to your like morals. It's a good opportunity to like be who you actually want to be instead of having the dependency to be. I'm almost there, but I have this baggage. It's like this. I want to get rid of this one of those bags. Drop that over here. It's good self-evaluation to be where do I want to go and what are the things I want to spend my time doing, because ultimately we don't have a whole lot of time.
No.
So spend the time doing the things you want to be doing.
And it's important, to know yourself and not fall into the silly generalizations that can feel like they make sense. Like the best way to quit smoking is to be a runner.
I hate anyone who offers a neatly packaged solution. Immediately makes
What if
me
I have chronic
angry.
knee problems?
So
what if
so
I
angry.
can never be a runner? Like,
I do think it's important that you fill that with something. Because if you're just like, I'm not going to smoke anymore, and you're just going to sit there all day thinking about how you're not smoking, of course you're going to relapse, right?
You need a replacement. It's like saying, like, I've got, and this is actually the metaphor I was going to use for the financial problems. It's like, I've got 2 broken legs all of a sudden, and I've decided to break my legs. But I'm not going to use any sort of crutches to get around or a wheelchair. I'm just going to deal with these broken legs and be a man about it.
And
Like
drag
James
myself
Conner
around.
myself around and
man.
pretend like my legs aren't broken.
Yeah.
Like it's the same way, like, and the same problem. The same way I was dealing with my financial problems was like, well, I have financial problems and I'm always broke, but I'm not going to do anything about it because that would require me to do something about it.
Yeah. No, I think
The
this
movie
is-
Misery has a lot of closure.
I think it has. I think this is a good opportunity for you to, like I said, the self-evaluation, figure out what it is that, because you could really pick anything. Like
Yeah.
you just established, maybe running's not the best thing. Maybe it is. Maybe, like you said, meditation's good. Maybe you do yoga. Maybe you read. Maybe you do whatever the you want to do.
Play guitar, right? Play guitar, learn some scales.
Yeah.
or do
I've,
some-
I've
yeah.
already I feel like a lot of people have a problem dealing with the time they gain when they quit smoking. Like suddenly the day
Mhm.
feels longer. But
What do you
I've
do with your
quit so
hands?
many times. And what do you do with your hands?
Yeah.
I've done it so many times that I have built-in things I deal with. Like, so I'm like, well, I've smoked this many times a day. I've got an extra hour for reading. So I just immediately, the moment I get up, I do my crossword and then I read. And like time I wasn't giving myself before, I'm giving myself now because it's like found money, right? Like, and I'm not going to squander it. I need to use it to improve myself in some way. So that's the way I've been dealing with those problems. The stress is the one that gets me because I'm an inherently an angry person. It's something I've
Yeah.
dealt with my whole life. I get and like some of the worst blow-ups I've had have been when I quit smoking, and people don't see them coming because they don't seem like that type of person
Oh yeah.
to most people, and they don't realize I have anger issues until suddenly I've gotten rid of my mechanism for resolving my anger issues, which is that break I was giving myself.
Yeah, no,
And-
you're not alone in that. Like I remember my dad used to smoke a lot. He probably still smokes more than most people do, but he used to go through multiple packs a day, like multiple packs a day, to the point where I never knew that he didn't smoke. I just assumed there was always a time that was just a thing that always happened. And then one day, Dad was just the biggest asshole ever. And I was like, what is going on? Like, something is totally different now. Like, I'm just a kid, and I just woke up, and all of a sudden, I'm in trouble. And I can't stop being in trouble. Like, everyone's in trouble. Why is what is going on? And then, oh, Dad quit smoking. Well, let him start up again. Like, let him keep
Yeah.
going. You know?
I've had people tell me that when I quit before. People have
Yeah.
told me
You need to smoke.
you need to go back to smoking,
Yeah.
which is
was
such
easy.
a
It
harmful
was-
and hurtful
Who-
thing
who
for
would
someone to say.
Nobody's
But-
ever said to me, "You should drink more. You
Yeah.
should,
Yeah.
you should get publicly
But the thing
intoxicated."
is, like,
and pick
if
fights with
tomorrow
people
you
some
were
more.
really angry because you stopped drinking, like imagine like someone
I'm going to
who
go for
is a hurtful
another
person.
walk in the woods and get soaked again. That is my answer to your question. Also,
I think,
But like some people, they only see your impact on them, right? They don't, and they think, well, you were a better person. So what if you lose a couple years off your life and you have
Yeah.
emphysema
Oh,
for your entire
exactly.
old age? They're like, I just want you to be that person I knew.
Yeah.
And sometimes they say really hurtful things. Like the person who said that to me, I never forgave them for that.
Well,
Like
it's
that,
kind of-
that
it's-
damaged me, and it probably got me back to smoking at that point. Like,
But now it's motivating you to do it right this
Yeah.
time, right? So I think
exactly.
having seen
No, yeah, you can't blame someone for
Yeah.
what they.
No,
some
but
say
having
Once,
something
seen-
like
once
that.
you're a cigarette addict, like you need to have a smoke just to be normal, right? Before you
Yeah.
before you smoked, you were just the way,
Same with a cup
that
of
way,
coffee.
right?
I'm the same. Like if I don't have my coffee in the morning, people say like, "Have your coffee."
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know, but I would just say to anybody that would say, "Why don't you just start smoking again?" Just say, "No, just wait for a week or two, and I'll be back to normal." Because that's like.
No.
And for me, it was easy to quit smoking, but I filled my space in my money with this. You're right. So it was just a nice, smooth transition from smoking to vaping. Who knows if this is better or worse for me? But everybody still has a vice, right?
do you have any interest in phasing that out, or was that just like, I'm going to pick this as a more healthy alternative, but I still want to enjoy the?
Yeah, I enjoy this, and I don't actually notice any bad health effects.
And you have
So-
there was never any intention, and you don't have any interest in tapering that off. That was just like
Not
bye
well, like
bye
I've
cigarettes, but-
weaned the nicotine level down to like 3 milligrams or something,
right
which
on.
is
Good for
very
you.
very small. But yeah, I enjoy.
And there's
this,
no
I-
broken glass shards in it, or like Chinese newspapers, or
Not as far
No.
as not as far as they've told us yet.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
I guess we don't
The-
know yet, but
yeah, the thing about somebody who's in recovery told me that a lot of people and a lot of addicts, even when they're in recovery and trying to support each other, talk about all that time they wasted.
Mm-hmm.
That is an incredibly dangerous, negative thing to do to yourself. And he said, and I'm sure he doesn't always feel this way, and in fact, he's told me he doesn't always feel this way. Just like, when you drive by a liquor store, it's not always easy to just be like, well, but it's not wasted time. It's time that took him to get there, but it's time that he learned through other mistakes. He's not saying to me, so continue drinking until you're the exact same age I am and have the exact same horrible, okay, there's rock bottom, I got to stop experience. I had a very different rock bottom experience, but that's what it is. The point is, don't be all, especially when you're trying to quit and you're already experiencing other emotions and more agitation because you've taken something out of your life. Definitely don't waste more time telling yourself you wasted a bunch of time, all those years spent smoking when I could have added those 5 minutes up a day to become a rogue scholar. Rogue scholar?
A rogue scholar.
A rogue story scholar.
A rogue scholar, that is a character class in the tabletop role playing game Rifts.
There you go.
Rogue scholar. So you would be like an Indiana Jones.
I do want to play.
Oh, that's not so bad.
I want to try.
If I didn't smoke, I'd be Indiana Jones.
You already got the hat.
You're the most Indiana Jones in the room right now, so calm down.
No.
In a lot of ways. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Tom could give you a run for your money on trap set.
I think Tom's more like real life Indiana Jones. I look the most like Indiana Jones right now because I'm wearing this hat.
Between the 4 of us, we can produce an Indiana Jones movie.
If we combine our genetic codes, we
Shia
could make
LaBeouf.
an Uber Jones.
Remember when Shia LaBeouf was Indiana Jones' son, and then they just took that away because why would anyone want that?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't remember that.
Now, before we wrap this one up, I just want to just ask you guys and if you don't want to answer, that's cool. But is there anything that you're doing in your life right now? It doesn't have to be an addiction, but something that a habit you feel you have that you think is negatively impacting the way you live.
Yes. I go home after work. We usually wrap up here around 9 p.m. and then I will watch TV until 1 a.m. usually. And that's 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. That's 4 hours of wasted time. And just as you say, you shouldn't maybe call it wasted time, but it's something that I recognize I should and could be doing something that's going to benefit me more. That it's just so easy.
4 hours of time you
couch,
could have that
right?
haven't been wasted. You've had value in them and you enjoyed those hours. But if you could scale that,
But I
addiction
could
back.
I could put that time into something else that I know I will enjoy more.
There's still
That's the other
there's
addiction
still a
addiction I'm
value.
battling to is television.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't discredit the value of downtime.
Yes, thank
It's
you.
pretty important. You need a balance. So maybe 4 hours is too much, but maybe 2 hours is enough. Like burnout's a serious thing, and it could ruin other parts of your life as well.
And
That's true, too.
allow yourself to, even if it's a hindsight situation where it's like, oh well, that was 4 hours spent, and I told myself it was going to be 2 and 2. I think you and I are both evoking our inner Eric at this moment, Tom. But it's
Balance.
Like, yes, and
Yeah.
and just and the loving yourself and the looking back on those 4 hours and saying, okay, yeah, that wasn't what I intended, but it wasn't a waste of time. You didn't sit there with a freaking needle sticking out of your arm for 4 hours, just totally out of it. Like. You did something. Maybe you learned something from those TV shows. Maybe you laughed at a joke. Maybe you got some new perspective on something. Maybe not. Maybe it was all terrible. But then okay, I'm never gonna watch Suits again.
Yeah.
Don't watch Suits.
It started out pretty hot. I didn't stick around for too long, but
I
I
started
only
out
watched the
pretty hot.
pilot and it didn't grab
Suits made me want to have a paralegal girlfriend. That's all that show established.
Oh, Donna.
me. What about you, man?
What am I doing that I wish I wasn't doing?
Or is there something you feel like you're addicted to that you would like to eliminate?
The biggest thing right now,
I think that still stopped, Dylan.
yeah, it looks like
Stopped
it is.
again?
Yeah.
I don't have any real substance issues right now. I'm pretty proud of that. I've worked those out. Coffee is even better than it has been in the past. I'm down to 1 in the morning.
Pretty normal.
Do you want to hang out with me at Overpasses so we can get a lot of chicory root? We gotta get.
Yeah, so if there was
card isn't
anything
good
that's
enough.
really affecting my life negatively would be I got the new job and I'm home more, like I'm closer to home more.
Yeah.
And I don't drive as far for work, but I'm not spending as much time at home. I've taken that extra time I gained in the day and filled it up
Put it
with
elsewhere, yeah.
hobbies and activities, and I'm not actually spending time with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem that I'm not very good at addressing right now because it's one of those balance issues. I think that's my thing. I'm having the biggest
So
issue is
you
just
kind of let the
balance.
time fill itself up instead of intentionally deciding like this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I got lacrosse twice a week. I got yoga. I got jamming. I got the podcast. I got
You're
work.
here quite
I
a bit
got,
too, yeah.
and I got teaching. There's all sorts of stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm allowing those things to be more important than spending time with my wife.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. What was this one sitting on the couch there? Was that one?
Oh, that's your backup.
insert
Yeah.
the Jeopardy music. Yeah, so that would be my thing. I'm just trying to work out just proper life balance. Not even like life work balance, like life hobby balance. How about wife hobby balance?
Yeah,
That's probably
Yeah.
better
Yeah,
balance.
we're
I
gonna
need to
bleep
figure
it.
out my wife hobby balance. Yeah.
totally.
You're bleeping that.
Was that everybody? Did you
wife.
talk about yours?
I intimated the boost thing, and I don't want to go into details, but I think I gotta.
fine.
I think
Yeah,
that's,
I
but
gotta
that's fair.
make some changes.
I think people should be no more ashamed of drinking because I think it's actually probably more accepted in
legal.
our culture than
Yeah.
smoking.
It's
And
totally
I think
legal.
I think
Drink your face
and
off.
I understand like the shame associated with drinking that isn't associated with smoking necessarily for a lot of people, but I think it should be something that you're like you should be comfortable not going into detail, but I just mean don't feel bad about that because I think
But
if I
something
can
our
if I can be accepted as a smoker, you should be able to be accepted as a drinker.
Man, last
you're
night was
right.
off the hook. We had like 12 cigarettes apiece. You know, it was pretty crazy. And made some bad decisions.
just the fact that that's funny though really does say
Yeah.
something. The fact that
Yeah.
like we can do this like thing that's really gross, and I'll be like and to like look at it as shameful or exciting is almost like seriously, really?
Yeah.
You find that like
Yeah,
smoking? Who cares?
Nobody
Yeah.
brags about how many darts they can smoke in an hour.
That's not
people
entirely
do.
true.
Yeah.
Some people do.
Oh,
Some
do
like really greasy dudes do.
But I just need
Bones,
to.
I'm looking at you.
I do need to make clear that I'm not one to pull back from my oversharing and my shame. So the important distinction here about me not going down that hole of like, oh, and here's another rock bottom story for you guys, is that rock bottom isn't an actual physical place.
No.
It's
Yeah.
a place you establish in your mind to start building the tools and the skills and the rooms where you're going to keep the people you love to help you deal with the lapses that are going to come so that you don't fall right back down to that rock bottom place. You're going to build that nice little superstructure, and hopefully if you fall, you're going to land on that.
Yeah. I think rock bottom is almost like that place where your ego came in and was just like, no, I'm not letting you do this anymore. Like I'm not letting you do this to us anymore.
Yeah.
I'm stepping in. You're gonna be you're gonna be shattered on the rocks of your own self-worth because
Exactly.
it won't let you push yourself any further. It's not like you hit a spot where everyone else hits. Everyone has that spot in their life where their brain goes like, oh no. And I've had it. Like I've had that moment so many multiple times really, like where I've been wasting my life and eating like garbage and drinking and smoking and doing whatever would like get me through the day to make me feel like I had a good day even though I didn't. And like you hit that moment where your brain just has to almost wake the rest of your brain up, like stop doing this to yourself. I
You
think
can
that's-
almost get addicted to that feeling too,
I
right?
sure definitely
Like,
can.
Yeah.
I think you could, yeah.
It's this almost sublime. I mean, that goddamn goatee song that just plays over and over again. Like you can get addicted to that certain kind of sadness. That's very true.
Yeah.
Not just because I've heard it 1,000 million times. Thank you, radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just if you feel like you have an addiction and you need to sort of like tell those stories, don't be ashamed to tell those stories. And I'm not saying that we need to live in that like 1950s Puritan state where it's like you don't talk about your problems, you just deal with them. For me, part of the problem is the wallowing and the miring and the like, well, do you guys want to hear about how drunk I got on Friday? Because the OPP can tell you. It's like, no. Like, that's for me, that's creating more of the problem. It's a different approach, a better approach of like less is more.
All right.